Okay, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm gonna be showing you guys my pet tour part 2, which is just every animal that I have in my room. So, let's get into it. Okay, first up we have the fire-bellied toads, and these are the first pets that I got. I've had these guys the longest, for sure. One day, me and my dad were at PetSmart, and I just really loved the look of these fire-bellied toads. So my dad got me one and set him up in a small, like 10-gallon tank, I think. A while later, we got another one from a different pet store, and I've just had them ever since. Now you can never even find them in any pet stores, so I'm just glad I got them because they're really cool. This is my setup for these guys. I upgraded a while back. I do have some old footage and pictures that I'll throw up right here. Okay, got my frogs. Come on. Whoa. Come on. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, you goofies. Oh, they're gonna love this. He's climbing. Awesome, dude. So this is how I set my cage up. It's in a 20-gallon tank with the hydroton for the filter and some kind of clay stuff to keep the substrate out of the filter. This part is egg crate with mesh. Then I've got this really cool cork bark I found. It fits perfectly. As you can see, these pothos are growing like crazy. Each day there's like 2 or 3 new leaves. I had more plants than pothos, but they were not growing. I built this whole bioactive tank by myself, which I'm really proud of because I love this thing. And I found this really cool like driftwood piece that just fits perfectly, and the frogs just like to climb up there into the land area. So this is what you call a paludarium, which is half water, half land. And yesterday I just cleaned it, so that's why it looks so like clear. I have a reptile filter right there in the back. So if you're wondering about this cup in here, I know it looks kind of off right now. I poked holes in the bottom and put it there because before this reptile filter, it would just splash everywhere and get water on the sides of the glass. It would get really dirty, and it was also really loud. So I don't know, I just kind of invented this way. I'm hoping that these plants will like kind of cover it up so it will kind of be like a waterfall, so then I won't have to have that ugly cup there. I have a bunch of springtails in here. They help to keep everything nice and clean. All those white specks are little springtails. They have just been reproducing like crazy. Also, all these rocks, I went to a landscaping place and got like a whole bunch for really cheap, and they fit perfectly in here, and I really like the look of them. This tank is just like my first ever bioactive tank I made. I also got these lamp stands for each of my tanks. As you can see, I got one over there. For this light, I have a automatic timer down here that turns the light on at a certain time and then turns it off at a certain time, so it's not— whoa, you almost got it. See, this is what happens when I'm not recording. They do like random flips and jumps to get these crickets. Like I was saying, was the timer keeps the lights on at a certain time, and I just have that so I don't keep the light on all day and there's algae everywhere. And then I got it on a foam mat so it doesn't damage this shelf, and that's the same shelf on that side, just so it's symmetrical. These guys are definitely one of my favorites because I don't know, they're just so cute, and I just had them the longest, so they're just kind of like my buddies. Also over here I got my extra water, and when I last cleaned the cage, which was yesterday, and then I got the days when I fed them so I can keep track of how many crickets they had. These guys love to eat crickets, and they get fed like every 3 or 4 days. I got the crickets here. and they're dusted with calcium. He's already going for it, you can see. Sometimes when they're really hungry, they take it from the tongs too. These frogs have such personality, they're so goofy. You missed it. You missed it again. They usually go right for the food, but I don't know, they're being kind of weird today. Come on, dude, he's right there. Just eat him. They don't seem to want to eat on camera, so we'll just have to wait till next time. They are called fire-bellied toads because their bellies have a bright orange pattern to like scare off predators, thinking that they're poisonous, but they're not actually, they're harmless. So that's the fire-bellied toads. They're always hanging out in this water area. They love this place, man. I'm so glad I upgraded their tank, because before it was just a lame 10-gallon with a water bowl. They really seem to enjoy this, and the plants are going crazy as well. Like, I don't know, it's just awesome. All right, let's move on to the next pets. The next pets that I got after the fire-bellied toads was my gecko, and then a while later I got my dart frogs. But my gecko is asleep right now, so we'll have to check on him later. So this is my dart frog tank. If you haven't seen the last video where I upgraded this, go check that out because it is growing in like crazy. And there's even flowers in here, which is really cool. So I've always wanted dart frogs. I went to a reptile show in St. Louis. I went to Josh's Frogs and picked these guys up. So these are 3 Dendrobates, tinctorius, powder blue dart frogs. And they are really awesome. So these guys, if you don't know, they love to eat these fruit flies. And I make my own cultures to feed them. And just like the other one, I have dates on when I feed them. So every like 3 days I throw a bunch in there. Obviously I dust it with calcium. This is a really cool bioactive enclosure that I just recently upgraded, and now it's like blown up. The plants are growing all over the place, and it just looks way cooler than it was before. These guys are always out just chilling, looking for food, and they are very entertaining when they eat, but they are still a little bit skittish. I think I've had these guys for maybe a year. This is the only one that seems to be out. The other ones are hiding in the coconut. Their colors are really pretty too. The bright blue and kind of the yellowish body. So this is I think it's 18 by 18 by 18. I think it's Zoomed. I also got this aquarium light, which I have for my other tank over there, which you'll see later. And this is really good for the plants because, as you can tell, the plants are growing in. And about the plants, if you want to know more about what plants I have, go check out my other video where I like redid this whole entire tank. But yeah, it's looking really nice, and I just love this tank right now. So I'll try and get some more shots of these dart frogs, and then we'll move on to the next ones. So first we had the fire-bellied toads, then right by my door we got the dart frogs, and they also have a timer for the light, I forgot to mention. This side is a little cramped, but it's fine. Over here we have the isopods, the plants, the tree frogs, and then the geckos. So like I said, the gecko's sleeping right now because he's nocturnal, so he's always out during nighttime, or I should say she. I'll tell you that story later tonight. Also feed her tonight because it is Tuesday. I also wanted to mention it's not a bioactive setup like the other ones. I have this 20-gallon tank with like a silicone door on it, and that's gonna be a bioactive tank when she's an adult. So I'm just kind of waiting till she gets bigger. After I got the gecko, I think I set up this nice little plant enclosure. This is just to grow out some plants for my future tanks in case if I need to make more bioactive tanks. Yeah, and then sometimes, whoa, blind. Sometimes I throw the slide on there. But yeah, I don't need to talk too much about the plants. They're plants, you know, they're cool, but the animals are the real cool things. The next thing I think I got were the isopods, which are dwarf whites. I just set up this little thing for them. I really haven't seen any in here, even though I bought like a whole container full of them, but they are really small. I'll probably have to use those up eventually. They help to decompose and keep like the bioactive tanks clean, so that's cool. But I really haven't used them, but I've been like giving them water and stuff. Along with the isopods are the springtails, which this is my springtail setup. No, this is not Cool Whip. So first I got a culture from Josh's Frogs, and then I decided, hey, why not make a couple cultures of them just so I have them for my later bioactive tanks so I don't have to buy any more. If you don't know about springtails, I'll just keep it short because they're cool, but you guys want to see the frogs, not the springtails. So the springtails just eat mold and decompose and just help keep like the bioactive setups clean, which is really awesome. Just for a normal springtail culture, you just need a container, fill it with charcoal, and then with like a base of water. So see all those springtails, and then you're like, ew, gross, mold. Well, that's what they eat. So feed them rice, and then they just chomp on that. As you'll see soon, they reproduce like crazy. Like, look at how many there are. That's insane. So just throw some food in here. They're really useful for bioactive tanks. Who doesn't like bioactive tanks, man? They're awesome. I love plants and just the whole ecosystem is awesome. Like, look at that, holy crap. So these are the springtails. So don't judge me, because if it looks like I have rice and Cool Whip for a snack in my room, that's not what it is, I promise. Next, I will show you guys my tree frogs, but they are also nocturnal, so I'll have to come back to that at night whenever I'm showing you my gecko. Okay, so now it is nighttime, and we got the gecko out, and also the frogs are out too. So this is my crested gecko. She has definitely gotten big. She is growing fast. So crested geckos are really cool. They're from New Caledonia. They lick their eyeballs because they don't have eyelids to clean them. But a story about this gecko, we drove about like 2 hours to a pet store because none of our local pet stores had any crested geckos, and I did research for so long and wanted a crested gecko, so we went, whoa, we drove all the way there and we picked him up. And at the time, I'll show you, it was like really tiny, and now he's growing like crazy. And eventually I'm gonna upgrade this tank to a bioactive when she's an adult. And I actually didn't know this crested gecko was a girl until it laid eggs. I'll show the videos and pictures of that right now. Guys, no way, what just happened? I just look in here and see these white things I thought was poop. Are those freaking eggs? What? How are you? How? What do I do? I thought you were a male, dude. Those can't be fertile, right? What am I supposed to do? I don't know what I'm supposed to do. This is really strange. Are you okay? Oh my gosh, okay, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Okay, so I did a little bit of research, and I guess it's normal for like one-year-old or a little older geckos to start like laying eggs, kind of like puberty, if you will. It's kind of interesting. So this is this girl's first eggs. This day I will definitely remember forever. But yeah, pretty interesting. Which I didn't even know it was a girl until now, which is kind of funny. But yeah, that's very strange, very strange. I just came home from work one day and I just saw 2 eggs in the corner of the tank, and I was so confused. I was like, what, baby geckos? And then I was like, no, they're probably, they are infertile. I'm gonna go make her some food and then I'll be right back and see if she wants to eat. These guys are really easy to take care of too, and they're very, very pretty. So these crested geckos, they eat this powder, and you mix it with water, and it's like baby food. This one is watermelon flavor. She definitely likes this flavor. So I got the food, pretty tasty. Usually I just put it right there and wait for her to come lick it up. As you can tell, she's kind of got like a blue tint, which means she is about to shed. And another fact about these guys, usually most like lizards can grow their tail back, and these guys cannot, which is kind of an interesting feature. And also, they are very soft. Like, I don't know, their skin is just very soft. Here, look, there's some food right here. Oh yeah. Bro, let go of me. Let go. Let go. Let go. Dude. Yeah, it must be very hungry. Oh, is that so good? Is that so good? Another thing is that their tails are prehensile, which means like they use them to climb onto stuff like monkeys. Like they can wrap their tail around things to climb around and hold on to branches. So that's my gecko getting way too big, I would say, very quickly. Awesome gecko, and they live for like 20 years. All right, let's move on to the tree frogs. Still licking your lips and your eyeball, huh? Tasty. Okay, enjoy your food. Okay, so as I showed you guys earlier, this is my bioactive setup for my 4 hourglass tree frogs. And these guys definitely blend in with the leaves. Got another like small LED aquarium light. But I'm just gonna peek in here and show you guys the frogs, and they are freaking adorable. There's 1, there's 2. These guys should get a little bit bigger, like an inch or an inch and a half. So hopefully this tank will be big enough when they're adults. Right now they're eating fruit flies, which I probably should upgrade to small crickets. I've always just really liked tree frogs. I went to another reptile show in St. Louis, and obviously Josh's Frogs is there, which is my favorite booth. I just could not help but to pick up some new frogs because just look at them, they're so cute. And they're also nocturnal, so that's what I'm showing you guys at night. I love those guys, they're so cute. Hope, never mind, there's crickets. Ah! So that completes the pet tour, part 2. If you haven't seen part 1, go watch that right now to see all my other pets. And hope you enjoyed the video, and stay tuned for the next one. So the next pets that I got after those frogs were